Hi, I'm Hannah with Keep Omaha Beautiful, and I am here today at the amazing Bob Carey Pedestrian Bridge. This bridge is so awesome. It's the first pedestrian bridge to connect two different states. So you can be standing in the middle and be standing with 1 foot in Nebraska and 1 foot in Iowa. The other thing that's really awesome about this bridge, and one of the things that I think is actually the coolest, is that when you're standing on top, you're actually standing right over the Missouri River. And the Missouri River is really important here in Omaha because that's actually where we get most of our drinking water. I'm going to do a little demonstration so you can understand how important the water in the Missouri River really is. Imagine the earth. A lot of it's covered with water, right? That seems like a lot of water that we can use. Let's pretend that this liter of water represents all of the water on Earth. Now, if we think about the water on Earth, most of that water is actually in the oceans. And ocean water is salt water. So even though we may have 1,000 milliliters of water here, we can't actually use it. I'm going to pour out 3% of the water. Now this represents the water that's fresh water. And this 97% of the water is actually in the ocean and it's salt water. So I'm going to add some salt to it so we know we can't use it. So this 30 milliliters of water that's left, that's what I can use, right? This is our fresh water. I can't actually use it. Most of that water is actually frozen in ice caps and glaciers throughout the Earth. The North Pole and the South Pole are both frozen. We can't use the water there. We don't have access to it. So I'm going to take 6 milliliters of water out of this 30 milliliters of water. So now I've got 24 milliliters of water that's fresh water, but it's actually frozen. So I'm going to go freeze it. So here I have 24 milliliters of water that's frozen, and I have 6 milliliters of water that's fresh water that's not frozen. Does that mean that's what I have to use? Not yet. Most of this water is actually too far underground for me to use, or it's too polluted and I can't use it for drinking water or for crops. What I actually can use is that one drop. Just a fraction of a percent of the water on Earth is available to me. So one more time. This container represents all of the water on Earth, but most of it's salty and we can't use it. This right here represents the fresh water, but most of it's frozen and we can't use it. This right here represents the water that's not frozen and is fresh water, but a lot of it's really hard to get to because it's too deep underground or it's too polluted for us to use. And right here, this drop of water represents what we can actually use here on Earth. Water like the Missouri River. As we just demonstrated, there's a lot of water on our planet, but only a small amount of it is actually usable. That's why it's so important that we take good care of the water that we do have access to, water like the Missouri River.